Speaking of war, Leah Goldin, the mother of Hadar Goldin, whose body was taken captive during the 2014 Gaza war, Operation Protective Edge, is again accusing the government of dragging its feet in returning her son. Hamas has held both the bodies of Hadar Goldin and Oren Shaul, as well as Israeli citizens Avraham Mengistu and Hisham al-Sayed, for years, actually. And Leah Goldin is now saying that everyone who promised they'd do everything for us has betrayed us. Goldin now calls on the government to close borders and completely withhold all humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip until the 4 boys are returned. And here with more is expert on the Middle East from the Begin-Sadat Center at Ilan University, Dr. Mordechai Kedar. Dr. Kedar, thank you so much for returning to the studio with us. So my first question is, Leah Goldin is arguing that returning her son simply isn't a priority for the government. What's your response to that?
Well, I believe that she doesn't really know about all the discussions which are being held behind the scenes between the Israeli government and its representatives and all kinds of parties all over the world, especially the Germans, who try to mediate between Israel and Hamas. I'm not sure that the government reports in every issue to the family, and could be that this is what the government should do, to report them about everything which is being done. However, what is good now, compared to what happened with Gilad Shalit a few years ago, is on that time, the family actually recruited the whole Israeli media and the public sphere in order to succumb to all the demands of Hamas. And therefore, Hamas raised the price to more than 1,000 killers in the price of Gilad Shalit. This was then. Today, the family does not ask the government to release killers. The family asks the government to maintain or to operate leverage
on Gaza, pressure on Gaza.
Means to stop all kinds of things which Israel sends into the strip. This is much more effective because, of course, you could release all the prisoners, all the killers, and they will release the 4 people, the 2 dead and the 2 alive. Yet, what will happen later? Because today, what we see is that those who were released in the Shalit swap actually are leading the actions against Israel, and for years already. This family, the Goldin family, do not demand to release killers. They demand to maintain pressure on Hamas in order to release the boys, and this is much more clever, much more wise to do this in order to release the 4 people.
So why do you think this isn't necessarily being done? Because we know that the ceasefire after this latest weekend round of violence is holding currently, and the border is now open for humanitarian aid. I mean, they don't seem to be at least taking Leah Goldin's suggestions.
Well, the problem is that the government is governed by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court usually does not allow the government to maintain too much pressure on Gaza Strip. So we give them food, we give them water, we give them fuel, we give them medications and everything which is needed. And this is the problem between being humanitarian, being humane, and give the people what they need and maintain pressure. But don't forget, the people in Gaza, almost 2 million people, are occupied by Hamas. They are occupied. Look, I have friends in Gaza. They call me time and again. Come and occupy the strip again. Because when Israel was there in the Gaza Strip, the attitude to the people was much better than what it is under Hamas. And they always give me the same example. When Israel needed to check a lady, the Israelis always brought a lady, soldier, or a policeman. Never a man, a male, checked a woman in Gaza, even if she was considered to be carrying some explosive something. Hamas are behaving totally different, and they know the difference. And they humiliate the girls and humiliate the women, and I spare you the description, what they do. But what happens there today is things which aggravate the population way much more than being under the Israelis.
All right, well, we'll have to wait and see if the government actually takes any of this advice from Leah Goldin to heart and puts this pressure on Hamas as you say they need to. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.